Made with love by Clover.
Welcome back, South Africa. We're still on that wedding tip today. And if there is one particular dessert that speaks the language of love in volumes, it has got to be the tiramisu. We gave the Italian classic an indulgent twist with some chocolate. Our Clover Bliss chocolate medium cream dessert works perfectly into this dessert because it basically takes that classic that is a tiramisu and adds a bit of a twist to it, you know what I mean? So to start off our amazing tiramisu, we know that a tiramisu is nothing without the biscuit base. So I have here some ladyfingers that we're basically gonna, as standard, any tiramisu starts with a coffee mixture. So all I've got here is some coffee that I basically made a little earlier on. Once you've done the coffee, let it sit for a bit so that it gets to at least room temperature because you don't want to burn your fingers. And all we do is we just dip our ladyfingers into the mixture. You don't want to soak them because the moment you start soaking them, the problem you're gonna have is that they're gonna be too soggy to handle. You don't want that. So all we do is literally just dip for not even a second, half a second if possible. And then basically we're making the bottom layer of our tiramisu. So I'm going to make about 2 ladyfingers for each base. And then going into our second glass here, because as we're talking all things love, we're talking all things relationships and weddings, there's always a marriage of 2 people, right? So I needed to make 2 for each person. So I'm dipping in here 2 ladyfingers for each glass. And that's basically the bottom part, the base of our tiramisu. To get the rest of the ingredients going, we've got our cream over here that I've already whipped up. I haven't made it too firm because I want to still mix in a couple of ingredients. In here I've got a little bit of cream that's also got some icing sugar in there because I need a little bit of sweetness. And into this I'm going to add some mascarpone cheese. Should you not have access to mascarpone cheese, you're more than welcome to use smooth cottage cheese because that actually works the same. The whole idea is basically to get that tangy flavor mixed in with the beautiful creaminess of the fresh cream that you've whisked up. I do understand that most people would want to have it a bit thicker in terms of your cream. You want to make sure that it's a little thicker so that it stands firmer. But I like mine a little smoother and a little more runny because you want to be able to basically soak it up, you know. So that's why I've decided to make mine a little bit on the smoother side. And because I've added the icing sugar in there, I'm not going to add any additional sweetness. So this now becomes the first layer of our tiramisu. I'm going to quickly just scoop this up into our bowl. Let me do this so you can see here. So basically, first layer of our tiramisu is our cream and our mascarpone that have basically gone in there. Let me do this first layer for you, and there we go. So that's the first layer of the creams that are going into this beautiful tiramisu that we're making. I've also got another mixture over here because we said we're adding a bit of chocolate to our mixture. So I've already got some of the cream that we already made earlier. Into this, I'm going to add a bit of our chocolate, a Bliss chocolate dessert. And into this, I just plop a little bit into there. You don't want a lot. You just basically want the color to change because we're also going to put more of this chocolate dessert on the top. And then the rest of our cream that we made a little earlier, this goes in there. And then the rest of the mascarpone cheese that we had. So in most cases, you'd want to add eggs when you're making mascarpone. But the one, tiramisu, one thing I love about this is that it's quite an easy, simple dessert. You won't even have to add the eggs because we already have all these other textures that are in there that are creating the firmness that we need. So all we do now is just we mix in our chocolate Bliss dessert into this mixture, and then we add the chocolate flavor to it. Let me do this for you. In fact, let me do this because I want to make sure you see all those different layers. I'm going to add another layer of ladyfingers to the top here and just set them nicely so you can actually see the different layers that we're putting into this tiramisu. And don't worry about these spills because we're going to fill it up, so you won't have to worry about all of that. It'll actually just create a beautiful design onto our tiramisu. We go in with our next layer over there. And as you can see, it starts forming these beautiful layers that we want for the tiramisu. You've got the chocolate layer, you've got the cream layer, you've got the biscuit layer, and then we're going to go in with our last but not least layer of our ladyfingers. And then this goes at the very top. And basically all we're doing now is we're showing people the easiness, versatility of a tiramisu, because it works perfectly, especially because it's wedding season now. People are talking about, how can I make my wedding, the perfect wedding, even though it's going to be indoors. You don't have to worry about all of that. We've got the perfect recipes for you here on Afternoon Express. We've got everything that you need to basically make sure that you impress those guests that you have. Yes, there might be a few guests, but they still will be impressed with all the beautiful recipes that you'll have. And this is what we're here for. We're here to help you impress all those guests that take the time out of their day to come to your beautiful wedding day. And I don't think anyone would be disappointed with this dessert. It's perfect. It's got the combination of coffee. It's got the combination of cream, everything that you need for a dessert. And just to make it a little bit more beautiful, we go in there with a bit of topping of cocoa powder. And if you want to get your hands on this amazing recipe, all you need to do is go to afternoonexpress.co.za for the full ingredients list. But if you have missed it, here's a quick recap.
Made with love